And I told you about that, Attorney General, before you started.
You don't tell me.
Yeah, I did tell you because we saw what you did in the Senate.
Lawyer. I want to take a moment to acknowledge the Epstein survivors who are here today. I'm a career prosecutor, and despite what the ranking member said, I have spent my entire career fighting for victims, and I will continue to do so. I am deeply sorry for what any victim has been through, especially as a result of that monster.
Hang on a second. But we've seen on the media that she didn't acknowledge the victims, and we just heard her acknowledge the victims right at the very beginning. So why was that not shown on the news then?
To the survivors in the room, if you are willing, please stand. And if you are willing, please raise your hands if you have still not been able to meet with this Department of Justice. Please know for the record that every single survivor has raised their hand.
So based on that, that's something that they've failed. They've failed miserably.
You apologize to the survivors in your opening statement for what they went through at the hands of Jeffrey Epstein. Will you turn to them now and apologize for what your Department of Justice has put them through with the absolutely unacceptable release of the Epstein files and their information?
Merrick Garland sat in this chair twice.
Attorney General Bondi.
No, can I finish my answer?
No, I'm going to reclaim my time because I asked you a specific question.
Attorney General.
So I'm taking it Merrick Garland was the Attorney General before, who must have been a Democrat.
Will you turn to the survivors? This is not about anybody that came before you. It is about you taking responsibility for your Department of Justice and the harm that it has done to the survivors who are standing right behind you and are waiting for you to turn to them and apologize for what your Department of Justice has done.
Members get to ask the questions, the witness gets to answer in the way they want to answer. The Attorney General can
That's
respond.
not accurate, Mr. Chairman.
Because she doesn't like the answer.
Time. Mr. Chairman,
why
I have asked
didn't she ask Merrick Garland this twice?
I am reclaiming my time, and when I
will
reclaim my
continue
time,
to
it is
Mr. Chairman, the gentlelady's reclaimed her time.
I'm not going to get in the gutter for her theatrics.
The time belongs to the gentlelady. The gentlelady has 17 seconds.
You're not going to answer this question, so let me just
Chairman,
say this.
I'll direct it to
what
you.
a massive
No, I'm
cover-up.
answering a question.
Chairman, will you restore her time? The witness is
I'm not going to get
interrupting.
in the gutter with this woman.
Stop the
She's
time
doing theatrics.
and let me have my time.
The gentlelady from Washington controls the time. The gentlelady has 17 seconds. You can proceed with your final 17 seconds.
What a massive cover-up this has been and continues to be. Donald Trump made the release of the Epstein files the center of his political campaign because he thought it would benefit him. Then you got into office, Attorney General, claimed to have a client list, only to then say that there was no list. Your deputy, Todd Blanche, met alone with Ghislaine Maxwell and transferred her to a minimum security prison. And now you continue the cover-up. And I wish that you would turn around to the survivors who are standing right behind you and on a human level,
Chairman,
Chair now recognizes the chair.
And what you have done.
I will say one thing. The Democrats had Obama and they had Joe Biden for 8 years. 8 years in office. And the Epstein files were there the whole time. And all of these people in Congress could have called this out. They could have released these files, but they refused to do so.
How many of Epstein's co-conspirators have you indicted? How many perpetrators are you even investigating?
You showed it. I find it.
How many have you indicted?
Excuse me. I'm going to answer the question.
Answer my question.
No, I'm going to answer the question the way I want to answer the question.
No,
Your
you're going to answer the
theatrics are
question the way I asked it.
Chairman Jordan, I'm not going to get in the gutter with these people, but I'm going to answer the question.
How many have you indicted?
Again, the time belongs to
Reclaiming my time.
The time belongs.
I think it's very interesting.
Reclaiming my time.
I think it's very interesting.
You can reclaim your time.
He talks about they indicted. The president said they indicted him twice.
Mr. Chairman, please stop the clock and restore his time.
Okay, here we go with these theatrics.
The Democrats have had time to do something about the Epstein files and completely refused to do so. On the flip side of the coin, Pam Bondi is here and they're asking a very simple question. How many? That's all she's got to answer. But I can see why they're both frustrated. They're more concerned about arguing with each other than doing right for the victims.
So he asked a 4-minute question.
Restore 45 seconds to Mr. Nadler, please, Mr. Chairman.
Answer.
You can let her filibuster all day long, but not on our watch. Not on our time. No way. And I told you about that, Attorney General, before you started.
You don't tell me.
Yeah, I did tell you because we saw what you did in the Senate.
You're a lawyer, not even a lawyer.
Committee will be in order.
I should get back at least.
Did she just call him
more seconds. I said that
a
already.
washed up loser lawyer? Is that really what we're doing right now?
You can let her filibuster all day long, but not on our watch. Not on our time. time. No way. And I told you about that, Attorney General, before you started.
You don't tell me.
Yeah, I
anything,
did tell you because we saw what you did in the Senate.
Lawyer, not even a lawyer.
Committee will be in order.
Time, and I should get back at least 45 seconds.
We will give you a few more seconds. I said that already.
First, he brought up the president saying they indicted me twice. They sure did. They tried to impeach him twice. And you, Mr. Nadler, were one of the leads on the impeachment. I was on the other side. I lived that with you. During impeachment, you said the president conspired, sought foreign interference in the 2016 election. Robert Mueller found no evidence, none.
Democrats did. Through 2 terms, it tried to impeach him, and all they cared about was going after Donald Trump. And if you look at the Epstein files, all of the questions that are asked here, just in her defense and Trump's defense, I have to say it, they're not actually asking anything about the victims either. All they're asking is this linked to Trump? Is this linked to Republicans? They're just as bad as one another.
Have you apologized to President Trump? Have you apologized to President Trump, all of you who participated in those impeachment hearings against Donald Trump? You all should be apologizing. You sit here and you attack the president, and I am not going to have it. I'm not going to put up with it. You know, all they want to do, they are talking about Epstein today. This has been around since the Obama administration. This administration released over 3 million pages of documents, over 3 million, and Donald Trump signed that law to release all of those documents. He is the most transparent president in the nation's history.
The Democrats have done nothing, and the moment that it's come out, the Epstein files, again, I agree that they haven't done everything that they should have done. They've redacted names and released information of these victims, and it's out in the public who the victims are, and that's wrong. They should apologise for that. I completely agree with that. However, they've had more than ample opportunity themselves to do something right, but they refused to do it under Obama, and they refused to do it under Joe Biden.
None of them asked Merrick Garland over the last 4 years one word about Jeffrey Epstein.
Do these emails constitute credible evidence, not proof, but credible evidence warning further investigation into whether Steve Tisch was involved in Epstein's criminal conduct? Do you think yes or no?
I'm not going to play a yes-no game with you, but I will answer the question to the best of my ability. We will look and investigate any case involving any victim. I'm not familiar. There were 3 million pages, of course, with that email. But of course, we will look into anything. The documents have been released, 3 million. The redacted versions, we left them open for all of you to come view. I believe you view them. If not, will you have some copies?
I'd like to.
Could I finish, please? I'm not being rude. Please.
I only have 5 minutes.
No, yeah, and I only have 30 seconds based on your filibustering.
Well, you didn't give a yes or no answer,
California.
so let me just go further. Director Patel, bring credit to your department, and Mr. Chairman, I would yield back.
Gentlelady yields back.
May I answer?
Attorney General can respond.
I find it interesting that she keeps going after President Trump, the greatest president in American history. And if they could maintain their composure, this isn't a circus, this is a hearing. I find it interesting she keeps going after Donald Trump. She doesn't say how much money she took from Reid Hoffman, did you?
None.
And nor did
Mr.
she
Chairman,
post
regular
anything.
order, please.
She
Regular order.
posted nothing on her X account, on her Twitter account during the Biden years.
Gentlelady.
Yet now,
there
all
was
of
no
a sudden,
question
she's
asked.
going after
Committee will be in
order. There was no question
be in
asked,
order.
Attorney General. She doesn't just get to
Committee will be in order.
I have a point of order, Mr. Chairman.
Committee will be in order.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
Gentlelady can state her point of order.
When a witness attacks...
Not a valid point of order. You got to state.
She hasn't completed her point of order yet. Please let her speak, Mr. Chairman. Let's have some regular order here.
Regular order is you got to state the rule. And
I am trying to make a point of order.
It really does make the British politics and the Prime Minister and what we're dealing with in the UK, it makes us look like child's play compared to this lot. It's absolute carnage, isn't it?
So they're encouraging local law enforcement to leave local law enforcement and go to work for ICE. We need people working in the front lines and local law enforcement to protect our citizens from the worst of the worst. The worst of the worst are not the immigrants. The worst of the worst records show are native-born Americans, and they are committing crimes that hurt our citizens and our cities. And you're working against it, and thank you for that. But but by trying to get our local law enforcement, where we have officers in Memphis, to leave Memphis and go to work for ICE to deport people is a wrong priority. Why are we trying to get people, policemen who are working on the front?
Salaries generally range from 28k. So again, it begs the question, if someone comes to you and you're on 28,000, by the way, mate, we'll give you another 25. That's double your wages. Nobody's going to say no. So even the guy there that's on the panel, the Democrat guy, his heart's probably in the right place and he wants to keep the district safe. I understand that. But if someone came to him now as a Democrat and said, right, you're on 60, we'll give you 120 to be an ice cream delivery man, he would take it.
Colleagues have been attacked this entire committee hearing. They have been lied on, and frankly, the American people weren't looking for that. They were looking for answers about the corruption that they see coming from this administration. In the written testimony of this witness, of this particular witness, she stated that when she took office, she had two main goals.
Take note that she talks a lot about dishonesty, and she talks a lot about Pam Bondi and the president being dishonest.
Spending more taxpayer resources arresting journalists than you are prosecuting pedophiles and creeps. In fact, your boss, the president of the United States, stated that this administration, quote, took the freedom of speech away.
Excuse me, but that would have been the Democrats, because it was liberals that were controlling Twitter for the last 10 years. All of social media has been left-leaning. You cannot go on things like, even now, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, all of those platforms. If you say anything remotely on the right, it gets banned. We've seen it here in the United Kingdom. If people say an opinion that's offensive to someone on the left, it gets deemed as hate speech. And it was the same as what's going on in Twitter. It's only since Elon Musk, again, for those of you that don't like him, that's fair enough. But the fact remains, it's the only platform on planet Earth that you can go on and see what is actually happening for yourselves. Yes, there is a lot of misinformation on there. Yes, there's a lot of lies and crap. However, if you go onto something like that on X, you can see video footage live of incidents of crimes as they happen live, hours before they're on the news.
Now, I don't know what the president might have done with Jeffrey Epstein, but unlike this administration, I believe that facts matter. So let's talk about the facts. Fact number one, Donald Trump is one of the most named people in the Epstein files. At least 5,000 files contains more than 38,000 references to Trump, his wife, or Mar-a-Lago. Fact number two, Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell made young girls available to Trump on multiple occasions. For example, according to this file, Ghislaine Maxwell presented a young girl to President Trump who spent more than 20 minutes apparently flirting with her.
She says, I'm going to tell you something that are facts. Then she said, Ghislaine Maxwell supplied a young lady, apparently. Apparently isn't a fact, is it? Apparently is an opinion. You can't start off... It's the same... This is the problem with the left. It's the same sort of people that do this whole thing, trans women are women. No, trans women are trans women. And to add on top of that, the European Union has just confirmed that trans women are now women. So I'm so glad that we've left the European Union. 100%.
Another example, this shows notes from FBI investigators that describe Jeffrey Epstein transporting a victim to Mar-a-Lago to meet with President Trump, where he bragged to Trump that, quote, this is a good one. Now, I'm not saying that the president is a pedophile, but there is a lot of evidence in these.
I'm not saying it again. So that's everything that she said there, 1, 2, and 3. She said fact number 1, fact number 2, fact number, and every single one that she said, she's put in maybe or allegedly or apparently. And now she's saying with this one, I'm not saying he is, but you just said it was a fact. You literally started, you went number 3, fact number 3, but I'm not saying that he is. But you just said that it was a fact. Make up your mind.
Files that suggest that he's very close friends with a lot of men who are pedophiles. What's crazy about all of this is just that this is a big cover-up, and this administration is engaged in it. In fact, this administration is complicit. But there are numerous of...
That's the one thing I do agree with. It has been covered up, and it needs to be fully shown to the public. I agree with that.
How federal agents have Tom Homan on tape accepting a bribe and your agency killed the investigation, or how your agency is ready to give the president a $230 million day.
She's talking about Tom Homan as if he's this is the guy who was the Baldassar, yeah, Tom Homan, and he's now just gone in to replace the leader of what's the thing, ICE, you know, the guy, the bald guy, you know, Tom Homan, yeah. So she's going on, oh, Tom Homan's this, Tom Homan's that. He was the Baldassar under Biden and under Obama. Why wasn't it? This is the hypocrisy bill. Why wasn't it a problem then? Why is it only a problem now? She's talking about the most corrupt, the most this, the most that. Let's just be clear. Under the Democrats, they didn't release any of this. None of this was even spoken about and was completely brushed aside.
I find it interesting that she didn't even want to try, Congresswoman Crockett, to ask any questions because she certainly did not condemn her leader, Hakeem Jeffries, for taking money from Jeffrey Epstein after Epstein was convicted.
This is the problem, isn't it? See? This is the problem. Where was that mentioned? None of that's been mentioned, has it? We wouldn't even know about it. This is what I'm saying. The Democrats wouldn't have even mentioned any of that. So how can she throw out all of these things about facts and being honest?
Because she certainly did not condemn her leader, Hakeem Jeffries, for taking money from Jeffrey Epstein after Epstein was convicted. And I will be brief to give you your time, Congressman. This is what she didn't want to talk about. Texas, from Cuba, convicted, homicide, arson, weapon offense.
Convicted. So what we talking about? Convict some of these perpetrators that rape these women that are sitting behind you, that you refuse to even acknowledge they are here.
You could have done this under Biden, and you refused to even open the Epstein files, Jasmine. All of you did. So why is it the second that Trump does something, you've got to find the negative in it? If he's in it, Trump, and he's guilty of something, yeah, he should go to jail, whatever the punishment is. But they're all making up these theatrics like, yeah, we want to do something about it. You could have done something for 4 years. You knew that the Hunter Biden laptop with all the little girls on it, with crack cocaine. You knew about the stuff that happened in the FBI raided the White House. They raided the White House under Joe Biden when there was a big party in there, and they found a bag of coke in the White House. How ironic. They found a bag of coke, the FBI, but we don't really know who it belongs to. Hunter. When Jasmine Crockett was on, I wanted to point out something because she went on a bit of a rant and she was stating how it was dishonest, facts number 1, fact number 2, fact number 3. Then she went on to sort of disregard her own fact by saying apparently, allegedly, without facts, right? So if she's talking about cover-ups, because I want to play the same sort of game they like to play because I find it fun. Listen to this. Outlets reported that Jasmine Crockett received almost $370,000 in contributions from political action committees. That's not a crime. Those reports note she had previously said on the record she took no corporate PAC money. She's sitting there in Congress telling others about dishonesty, yet she took $370,000 and denied it. So who's being dishonest then, Jasmine?